Just a few weeks ago, no one knew about Oliver Anthony or his music. Fast forward 3 weeks later, and Oliver Anthony and his working class anthem, Men North of Richmond, took front and center at the GOP presidential debate in Wisconsin. And Oliver Anthony was none too happy about how the Republican presidential hopefuls used his song to bash Joe Biden and those on the left. So I'm about to share exactly what Oliver had to say about the situation, but I also want to know what you think after you hear the story. Has the conservative movement already co-opted Men North of Richmond for their own purposes? Well, let me know what you think in the comments. Now here's what happened at the debates that lit a fire under Oliver Anthony. Fox News played some of the lyrics of Men North of Richmond. Now keep in mind, Fox News later told Politico that the network had permission to air the song during the debate. I have to imagine that permission came from Oliver Anthony's tight-knit group, or perhaps from Oliver Anthony himself. Now once a part of Men North of Richmond was played, one of the moderators asked Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, "So Governor DeSantis, why is this song striking such a nerve in this country right now?" And this is how Governor DeSantis answered. "Our country is in decline. This decline is not inevitable. It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline." So pretty clearly, in about 3 sentences, Governor DeSantis went from Men North of Richmond directly to Joe Biden, and one has to think that's what fired up Oliver Anthony. Now in response, Oliver took to YouTube the very next morning to passionately set the record straight about his song. Sitting in the cab of his truck with rain pelting the roof, Oliver eventually got choked up as he explained his music and how he wants to see it used. This is what he said. "If there is anything for me to address at all with you, it's that, the one thing that has bothered me is seeing people wrap politics up into this. It's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them. It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like we're trying to present the same message. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've tried to be polite to everybody. I've talked to hundreds of people the last 2 weeks. But it seems certain people want to ride the attention of the song to maybe make their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell." Oliver then goes on to say he finds it quite comical that these Republican hopefuls used his song lyrics to get across their message, as if Oliver wrote the song for them. Here's what Oliver says. "The other thing that I find aggravating is, well, it was funny seeing my song in the presidential debate because it's like I wrote that song about those people, So for them to have to sit there and listen to that, well, that cracks me up. But it was funny kind of seeing their response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. That song was written about the people on that stage, and a lot more too, not just them, but definitely them. It's cool seeing some of my other music come out because people are, I guess, starting to appreciate and understand what it is I'm really trying to say. It's hard to get a message out about your political ideology or your belief about the world in 3 minutes and some change. But I do hate to see that song being weaponized." And to be fair, later in his YouTube video, Oliver also calls out the left on how they are misinterpreting some of his lyrics, and he's not happy about that either. Either way, Oliver Anthony has made it very, very clear that his music is not about politics, it's about people. So what do you think? Of course, anything today immediately becomes political, and as much as Oliver doesn't like that, it's just going to happen. Especially if his camp did give Fox News permission to air Men North of Richmond in a GOP presidential debate. It would be a safe assumption that if you let your song be aired in a political debate, then it's probably going to be used politically. But let me know what you think as well in the comments below. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and until next video, y'all take care.